This is going to feel like the shortest lesson ever, and that's because it will be. There's not much to do here. By the way, does everyone have the sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so.
Okay. There's not much to do here on this paper. I am recording, so please make sure you're not making any extra comments or noise. We added in, okay, so first of all, we simplified radicals with just numbers. Then we simplified radicals with numbers and variables. That was a train wreck. But they will always be easier than those problems from now on out. From here on out. We've done the hardest practice problems for simplifying variables already. So every one of them that we do from here on out will be easier. We added and subtracted radicals. Now we are going to multiply. There are fewer rules with multiplying. Basically, you multiply the same parts together. What I mean by parts is the coefficients. This is a coefficient right here, and this is a coefficient right here. The number in front of the radical is a coefficient. You're going to multiply those. So 3 times 5. 3 times 5.
15.
15.
Right.
Then you're going to multiply
This is better easy.
the other parts, which is the radicands. Remember we said it's like canned food. You're only interested in the part underneath the radical. You're going to multiply those parts together. I like to underline them. So 3 times 6. What's that?
18.
18. And since it was under a radical, it stays under the radical because I have not evaluated it.
Is that it?
Almost. Now go back to the very first lesson. You need to simplify that. Will 18 break down?
Yeah.
18 will break. They're very crunchy in his defense. They're very crunchy chips. 18 will break down. What perfect square goes into 18?
9.
9. How many times?
2 times.
2 times. So I'm going to break that into my factor tree. Root 9 times root 2. And I feel like I'm directing a... And then what's the square root of 9? 3. Bring this down. What do I do with a 15?
Bring it down. Multiply.
Bring it down. And then you multiply it by the coefficient. So 45 root 2.
That was easy.
You simplify the radicand. Is what goes in the blank there. And that's it. That's all she wrote. I would love for you to try number 1. And then we will check it. Ow! All right, how are you doing on number 1?
I didn't do it.
Hey, let me show you another way to organize it. Some people don't like when it's written out in a horizontal fashion. They like to just come underneath and say, okay, I'm multiplying by -3 root 10. And then they multiply straight down. So that's 6 root 20. Some people do it that way. You don't have to. It's an option. And then, of course, you got to break down the root 20, right? 6 root 20. What does 20 break apart into? What's 20 break apart into? Root 4 times root 5. What's square root of 4?
2.
What do I do with the 6?
You drag it down and times.
And what do I end up with?
12
root 5.
12 root 5.
I'm not way on number 4 because that's a little.
I agree with some water.
Yes.
All I know.
All right. You're going to
Wait.
multiply this.
Wait, that's a negative. Or wait, negative times negative. Never mind. Not bad, guys.
Okay, here. There's a coefficient of 1. What's 4 times 1?
4.
4. Under the radical, what's 3 times 8?
24.
What's A times B? AB.
Why did you say A plus B? Wait, so
Because it's times.
that's the answer.
No, it's not the answer because 24 will...
It'll break down to
Break down.
6 and 4.
What's the square root of 4?
2.
2.
What do I do with the rest of this stuff?
You bring down the 4.
So it'll be 8 versus 6.
It'd be 8 to 6. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
8 root.
6 AB. Got it.
You can't even remember, you can't say A plus B because that's a different thing, you know.
Well, that's
Say
literally
A
basically what
times
you're
B. But if you were to walk up to me and say A plus B, I would say A plus times B. If you say A and B, then they're connected.
You know what? Simple?
What?
Because you learned the foundation before it.
We should play basketball together.
Only if you like losing.
What if I like losing?
I must help the kid.
Are y'all teammates? You play against each other?
Miss Holcombe, I played AAU
Nice.
basketball for 4 years.
Huh?
I don't
You
know.
play what?
I played AAU basketball for
Okay.
4 years. Come on. You've never
Was
played.
it the first 4 years?
My dad is 6'7".
Yeah, my dad is 5'3".
Yes. Oh, my dad is 6'5". That's hard one.
Alright, let's try number 3.
Oh my god, my
We went down a rabbit hole.
Try number 3. Come back. Hello.
Yo, that is weird.
Guys.
Try number 3. You can do it.
This
You
whole
can do
confused,
it.
I still lose.
Because I'm
Sorry,
pretty sure, like,
say it the other way. Parentheses is another way to write multiplication. Yeah, great question. The parentheses just means multiply when it's next to another set of parentheses.
Or did I do the 9 wrong?
You're very close.
What did I do wrong?
X times X would be X.
X with X1.
No. X
Sorry.
times X is X
We add them together.
squared. And then when you take the square root of 9, don't forget to come out of the square root.
Hey, man, what's 1 times -5? Would that be -5? Or
Yes.
would that be...
Yes. So -5 square root. 3 times 3 is 9. X times X is
X squared.
X squared. Right?
Hold on.
X times X is X squared.
Wait, we will break that 9 down into...
Need to break the 9 down. What's the square root of 9?
3 and then goes into...
So this is actually -5 times 3. And then what about the square root of X squared? Now, we're back to variables with exponents. But remember what I said, you've already practiced all the really challenging ones. All the ones we're going to have left will be like a single variable, okay? Or very simple.
That's not simple. Why do
Close. What type of number is that?
Squared.
And that means it's even, which means it's perfect, which means it will come out of the square root as
X1.
x to the 1 power.
Okay, then you just find... Wait, do we have to write the 1?
No, I just did that because I wanted people to know it is a 1.
-5 3 times... Wait, -5 times 3. Wait, what the answer is that? I'm not good with the...
Okay, so I almost got there. I just
-5 times 3 is -15.
Is there a trick to like know
I'm
like
sick,
cause if it's like let's say we're doing -5 times 3, I think it would be like 50.
When the signs don't match, that means one's positive, one's negative. It's always negative when you're multiplying.
Wait,
26. What did you do up here? Let's try number 4. Try number 4. Okay, did everybody get this on the number 4? You're going to multiply coefficient times coefficient. Radicand times radicand, so x squared times x cubed. You just add the exponents, so that'd be x to the 5th. And now I'm going to break it down. Breaking it down, 126 breaks apart into 9 times 14. X to the 5th breaks apart into x to the 4th times x to the 1st. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x to the 4th is x squared. And then we regroup and multiply where we can.